Hello, welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury. Oz is behind the camera. And this is the Nord Grand 2. New to me and perhaps new to you. I'm going to try just get playing. This is the first sound as it comes on. I'm going to choose the key of F. So that's called the White Grand. Nord Grand 2. What are the changes from the last one? They say the action's different. I had a little look on the way up here. A lot of it has to do with, they're saying that they've minimalized mechanical noise. That's the first time I said that. I think I did really well. Thanks very much. I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to see. So they did some acoustic dampening. That might seem crazy, but if you know a piano player and you've lived with one, you've probably wanted to kill them, even though they had headphones on. Because a lot of them could be clunky McClunkerson. So if that's up to you, that's one of the big new features. No noise, no wiggly bits. Let's talk about some things. I'm going to go left to right on the panel. Piano, we've got 2 sound engines now per section. So you've got the piano section in a box, sample, synth engine in a box. They've increased the memory in there so you can put more stuff in there, but the big headline is you can have 2 of each. So 2 pianos and 2 sample synth sections, and we've got faders now, whoop, and we can adjust them. Let's not show that off yet. Let's show you some more tones because I just love, this is called the Amber Upright. I'll play a similar thing, right? So this was the first one, the White Grand. This is the Amber Upright. And we've been using that for all our gigs recently. And my personal favourite, the Felt Upright. Insanely beautiful sounds. If you didn't know with Nord, is yes, this is what comes in it, but with that added space and being, you know, having paid the price of admission to get into the Nord family, you can then access everything that's on their website and choose what you want to put into these slots. If you hold Shift and Piano Info, it'll even tell you the information about the piano. So that says Felt Upright. That means it was a Yamaha SU118. And the size is only 114 megabytes for that sound. Check out. And part of the magic there, okay, if this is new to you, you might think 100 megabytes, what? We're in a gigabyte world. Not in Nordland. You just don't even worry about it. Watch someone else's video for that, but that's the fact of the matter. Some new things in there they brought in from the Stage 4, which is the flagship at the moment, that I love to see. are the dynamic compression. This is one of the best features I saw. I'm going to go back to a brighter sound, that white grand at the beginning. Actually, let's change it so you get an idea. One of the new ones is, it's the soft grand. Now, if I do something, I can't play that very evenly. I'll do it a bit slower. Dynamic comp will even out the velocities in my playing. So velocity, how hard I'm hitting it. So put some accents in. If I dial that up, take that off. Way more dynamism to the playing, but not compression. If I was using the compressor on here, it fattens out the tone, it changes the fundamental sound of it. I love that dynamic comp. It's like getting it. Look, on a DAW, you might go even out all your velocities to make you sound a bit posher. You can do that live, and it's so good for people playing ballads. You're doing a kind of with dynamic comp on max. Just punchy, crisp, love it. Very useful for dweebs looking for that next level up in their playing. Back to other things that you got in here. When we were back playing the felt upright, and you go, oh, it would be cool if it was a bit brighter. I don't want to use the EQ over here. We're still in this little section. We've got these timbre controls, and you've got soft, mid, bright, dyno and dyno 1, dyno 2, they're for the electric pianos more. But listen to this, so I can make it even softer. Softer, mid, bright, and off. So I love that. You want it even softer? Put some mids in. Much pokier. So they're so good. If someone's, hey, you're not cutting through, mate. You're not cutting through. You can hit that button and get through there. Unison, I love the way they use that instead of detune. Have a listen to it. You get a lot of effects reminiscent of the kind of golden era, Billy Joel, Elton John era pianos where they double tracked it, or maybe they used a chorus unit, but I think this sounds a little bit more together. So let's do something. Unison, put that on 3. Bit of stereo stuff going on there as well. That's off. Off. On. I love that because again, it's not chorus. We're going to get to that in a bit. So a lot going on. You're probably buying it, the Grand 2. You're looking at it in the product range because you're the discerning person that wants that action. The action is actually from another brand, Kawaii, and if you're looking for the most realism out there at the moment in electric piano action, the Nord Grand 2 is making a great case for it. Like I said, they minimalised some things about the acoustic noise. They changed the chassis and the mechanism, apparently. I definitely just love it. It's such a treat to play. Onto the sample synth section. Next to the piano section, notice I am not rocking with presets. It's so great on Nord because everything is modular. You can hold it to turn it off. At the moment, no noise. We turn it on, we've got noise. And that brings us to one of the new things, which is coinciding with the release of the Nord Grand 2, was also a partnership with Spitfire Audio. And as I understand, they've put in some samples that will ship with it, that it's a string quintet that they've done. So it's a unique Spitfire library, and a lot of thought went into having it be playable on the keyboard. So let's find out. I'm not going to go for the first one because I saw a video of the flautando articulation. Flautando sample, we'll choose it. When you see a little, what looks like a list underneath, if you hold shift and turn the knob, you will get a list on the screen. So I can see this, and I'll look for Spitfire. There we go, string quintet flautando. Beautiful. That's my jam. Love it. What I like is, often with a string patch, a lot of the time you want to adjust the release of it, how it behaves when you take your fingers off or how you press it, and they've simplified it to this one knob here. So I can get a bit more of release. And to give you an idea of the breadth of character now with the Spitfire library in, underneath it you've got the symphonic strings, which are from a company called Symphobia. So two big, back when I was younger, it would have cost hundreds of pounds to get a flavour of these sounds just in software, and you get the idea that they're getting thrown in, or the option of even taking them out if you want, with that system of being able to put your own sounds. That's a lot of why you're spending a bit more on the Nordgrand. Access these libraries. So symphonic strings from Symphobia. If I turn down here, I'll play the flautando thing again. This is the symphonic strings from Symphobia. Just as amazing, but what I love is there's an intimacy. As I understand it, they recorded the samples in Abbey Road, and it's a derivative of their Abbey Road library. So it just has that Beatlesy, dry, small string section. Let's have go back to something with a different character. String quintet fast. Just for context again, I'll flick down to a fast attack from Symphobia again. So great, but you might not want full orchestra all the time. You want that intimacy, especially if we layer them. So let's get into this big deal on the Grand 2, is that we can stack two of those. So you could have a orchestral string and maybe an individual instrument and two different pianos. I don't find a lot of cases, but piano strings is one that everyone thinks about. Let's do that. So let's pick a piano. I'll go in here and I want to choose that felt upright because I love that. Nice and soft. And then on this layer, I want to shift, turn this, and I can see a list of my samples, and I'll go back to that flautando string quintet. I can turn this off by just holding it. Give myself a bit more release. And I want to lay that with a piano. I can just turn this layer on and bring it up with a fader. Change the model here. Let's go for the white ground. Bit more release. you're approaching some functionality. In this sample synth section, there's some new things as well. If you are like, oh, but the odd, I just want to play the odd lead line, and you're like, oh, I don't want that, but I'm an action, I really care about my piano action. It's tough sometimes picking between the Nord, and they're making it a bit harder, if anything, because now you've got some functions like in here. If we find a synth section, again, we go shift, sample, let's look for the category, synth lead, for example. Go in here, let's find a lead, smooth lead. Oh yeah. And you'd be like, oh, I've got no pitch bend mod wheel, I can't do any. It's just not there, right? New button, vibrato button. So that's cool. That wasn't there before. The other thing is we can now fake a bit of movement with the mono, and so at the moment I can play chords with it. I put it into legato, just get one note at a time, and I've got different levels of glide. So if I put that on shift, glide, so really, and I think that's very thoughtful, because I don't want people to be like, look, I'm never going to play a synth. But then you're the pianist in your local choir and they go, oh, we really want to do this song. You can blag a lot more on this now. And not only that, you could stack synths, split them. You've got split zones with crossfades. Now, what does that mean? Let's do it. So let's turn this off. Let's work in the synth sample section. There's something you could not do on the first grand, which is stack these two together. Let's start that first. Let's keep that synth lead. We'll make it legato with the glide. Go to the other, turn that off, turn this layer on, and we'll use the strings, because they're bloody brand new. They're brand new, I'll tell ya. Cool. Put them both on, and then I'm going to go split here in the middle. I can see the split point with the light. Now the next bit is underneath it says crossfade. I've never done this, but this is, again, the Nord language is so simple. Oh, okay, it's underneath. It hasn't worked like that. I'm probably going to have to hit shift. Crossfade 1, crossfade 2, represented by a change in the color of the light. Look, green, amber, red. So across the octave, you should hear this crossfade business. Demo, Jack. So now I've just got synth, but down here, if we go to crossfade 1, and it just means that you don't have, if I take the crossfade off, it feels like deathly either side, and the crossfade bit is so beautiful if you do any of that stuff. It just doesn't feel like you're going to fall off the edge of a cliff. So we've made it to the middle of the piano. Other things that you might not know about the sample section that I learnt from actually going to Sweden. Nord invited me out there, and I learnt a lot about it. So smug. But I was really blown away talking to the main chaps there, and I said, oh, Unison, oh, I love that, you know, how it factors it out. And they explained that by hand, especially with these acoustic instruments, it isn't just panning it to the left and detuning it. They've hand selected the samples of a different pitch to go with it. So that's why it sounds really natural. Demo it, Jack. So there's the Spitfire string. Listen to the Unison levels. I'll go 1, 2, 3. No. So that's Unison 3. No Unison. Big difference, right? And that's a bit like the Unison in the piano. There's all this subtlety and shade at source with these samples before we get into using effects. And that might, if you're thinking again like, oh, you've maybe been a Nord hater, oh, it's too expensive for me, I don't know why those fancy pants people buy that stuff. That's really important. Like anything, when you get into it, working with the raw ingredients, brilliant. Onto the right hand side of the keyboard where there's a lot of change from the first grand. New effects, and new ways to route and control the effects, which means you're going to get a lot more sounds out of it. Because the first one, you might thought it was just very piano focused, but now we've got all these options for splitting, layering, cross-fading samples and whatnot. Let's choose an electric piano sound. I'm going to go for this Nefertiti. Really nice Rhodes sound. And the best thing to do is put effects on a Rhodes. So let's turn this on and we will put on the vibe effect. Let's go half mast on these things. Beautiful effect, but you'll hear that in stereo, and now we've got the option for shift mono. Back to Steza. And it comes alive, right? With that, it sounds amazing. We've got those options on all the effects that are there. Are there any new ones? Yes, there's a new one up here that I know is from the 4. Oh, let's try these. New pan. So it says a new pan with a line on it. I wonder what this does. So that's pan 1, pan 2. Alright, so this is a soft pan apparently. And this is a hard pan. Super subtle. But again, you got to imagine, I don't know how you can spend more money on a keyboard, really. I don't know. This is the top of the range stuff, so we're getting these subtleties. And the brand new one is Spin. Check this one out. Back to pan. And then down to, say, oh, back to trem. So we haven't changed the rate or the amount, but you've got 3 different ways to move electric pianos around the stereo spectrum. Again, in the studio, one of the big factors, minimalizing that key noise. That might matter to you in the studio because you might have singers and this is how you're recording the videos. It means it won't get into the mics. Oz is probably happy that he's not getting all these clickety clacks in the mics. Coupled with these choices, love it. Brand new in here is that, let's go back to that vibe effects, it's so nice. Freaking love it. We had amps on the last one, but they've brought in the secondary amp models, secondary amp types per amp. Oh my God, spit it out, Jack. So let's turn on, a classic one for me is putting a Wurlitzer through the small amp. So let's start with a Whirly on its own. Take the vibe off. Turn the amp on. Makes it sound like this coming out the little speakers on a real Wurlitzer. But now I hit Alt Tone, or you want to do a real vibed out lo-fi thing. With no effects. Just a vibe. Now with the small amp. Alternative small amp. We're not using any EQ or nothing. Bit of compression. EQ stayed the same. We are going to go to Reverb Town just because we can. This is brand new and I'm very envious as a stage 3 cat. Oh my God, I wish I had a spring reverb. I can put a spring reverb on this. And all pre-delay, so that might be... You can hear that little pre-delay. Without it. Again, these little just options, this or that, instead of increments. I love it. Also, bright and dark versions of each. We've also got the cathedral reverb. That might have been in there before, but let's listen to it with a nice... Well, let's use the strings, because they're new. Quintet soft. Spitfire soft in a cathedral. Yes, please. With this fader, we might be able to fake some automation. Top tier reverb. Dark mode on there. Bright. And then more modulation for you're really out there. Take that off. Oh, this beautiful, richly recorded sound. It sounds banging here. One thing I didn't show quickly. Check it out. Here's the piano bit. Pearl upright. But I can put it in a booth now. So that's on, really subtle. Let's crank it. Off. I love that. I've been waiting for this because Oz wears headphones when he's recording these videos to check all the sound quality for you people out there. This means that he is the man to judge this. There's two types of ping pong.
Okay.
Never seen it before, but that's a new feature. So let's try these types of ping pong. I'm going to go to a more percussive sound for the ping pong. They've modelled some like cranky old digital pianos. You're right. I got some effects on there, but those effects sound dope. Sounding nice, but let's turn on the delay and let's get something going. Tap, 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 tap in a tempo. Okay. Let's get some feedback going. So that's how it normally is. No ping pong. Initiating ping pong 1. Ping pong 2. And something I've never seen, check it out, flam. And that's pretty much all the headline new features on the Nord Grand 2. It's now compatible with the Nord monitors. If you haven't seen, I don't think Oz is familiar with these. But in this little bag, what's in the bag? Are in fact 2 speakers, mate. Look at this.
Oh, sick.
I'm pretty sure before you had to get brackets. If not, you can just slam these on the back now. So if you buy this, you can have your Nord monitor, which I owned for a while, and they were a big treat, but I couldn't justify it. And they kind of sit on that. So if you've got a space in the room, I think they look beautiful, very well designed, especially with the legs. Look at the whole package. I suppose if you're in it, you might as well get everything. And look at the bag; it's all primo. If not, and if you went out for a picnic, take the speakers out. World's most expensive picnic hamper. Yeah, Nord Grand 2, available to try at Andertons, brand spanking new. Thank God they paired up with Spitfire. I'm going to do a bit more on those in another video, but thanks for watching. Thanks also for being here. I'll play you out with some presets.